Nabat Samalola, and touch the Lishuni, the Tarigi, the Lopsendi, any the Kazanki, Hashawatinima, any Angachik, any Jugiche, Tushenda. The Kazanzo, any dead some Sharwa, Shoran Chukji, some Sharwa. The Shoran Chukji, some Shadu Samane, Nedela, Mingi Churwa, the Mingi, the Anikrazugita, Kunita Yangzing Salirda. 이 권익이 민디 땅안조 단다 디나도 양생스리디 안토나치 보여 차도다 दूसरा मुर्शिद कुली खान था रॉबर्ट क्लाइव वंदी खुनीदा 땅안조 가장기 참셔서 딘마이다 this they refused to pay causing an enormous loss of revenue for Bengal. How could the Nawab of Bengal Murshid Quli Khan not protest? Tadinang the revenue lana shungta tsokpatingi yongbab jora babdil khalawore revenue la orda yong shungda tsokpata dirigi ani babdela revenue nguijik chungurwa dela ani revenue la orda ondiche the means that time the East India Company they got the farman from the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. It means they did not have to pay any taxes to the Mughal Emperor for having opportunity to do the business in India, especially in the Bengal region. But the company staffs, they started doing the side business. In the one hand, they were doing the trade for the company, East India Company. But at the side, they were also engaged in their own private business. And they were misusing the farman. They were misusing the duty-free concession that the company had got, and they were using that concession for their own private business. And it caused a lot of revenue loss to the Bengal. And at that time, Murshid Quli Khan, he happened to be the Nawab of Bengal. Means he had the authority, he had the responsibility to check into the revenue of the Bengal. And he found that the company was misusing the farman. And so Robert Clive, means we will study more about the Robert Clive afterwards, but for the moment, that Murshid Quli Khan, you should know that. Nanga law in the law, ani the paragraph nangula sik hashish tuyoswa, and dige the kirazoda, as really should just in the how trade led to battles. Trade ki manzo kasan khalare company their sole intention in the beginning were to do the trade in India. Now that trade slowly it led to the battles. It caused battles. Through the early 18th century, the conflict between the company and the Nawabs of Bengal intensified. After the death of Aurangzeb, the Bengal Nawabs asserted their power and autonomy as other regional powers were doing at that time. Murshid Quli Khan was followed by Ali Vardi Khan and then Siraj Uddaula as the Nawab of Bengal. Each one of them was a strong ruler. They refused to grant the company concessions, demanded large tributes for the company's right to trade, denied it and any right to mint coins, and stopped it from extending its fortification. Accusing the company of deceit, they claimed that the company was depriving the Bengal government of huge amounts of revenue and undermining the authority of the Nawab. It was refusing to pay taxes, writing disrespectful letters, and trying to humiliate the Nawab and his officials. The company, on its part, declared that the unjust demands of the local officials were ruining the trade of the company, and trade could flourish only if the duties were removed. It was also convinced that to expand trade, it had to enlarge the settlements, buy up villages, and rebuild its forts. The conflicts led to confrontations and finally culminated in the famous Battle of Plassey. Murshid Quli Khan, he was the Nawab of Bengal. Dice, tadi ngadu thik dige kashishta anje malopsin dunda. Enormous lava ina sharagi chimbo, hajangi chimbo, extremely big. Autonomy lana rangkyong rangsi. Autonomy lana thunda shimba kosi irda. Tada dilla ngadu khar kursana rangkyong rangsi chi kurda, rangkyong rangsi che. Mint lava ina ani ta mint lana yang ngadu di shimba didile kure. Tada dilla mint lava ina ngulta ani diwa ngutang ki ani parlin chisa jora ngutang ta ngu par gyasa dela khalire mint ngu sosa jora azu pesha sosa di dela khalire mint deceit lavaina luti cheba gogotama mila yoju cheba dela khalire deceit. Extent lavaina ani tab ta thana mamu jukure thanda del extent la samane ani dage chingba dachero chingba del kurda ani claim la samanda chidane sunye topdan yi la da susu ge topdan de rishi ya de la ani claim le thanda del claim la samane yinsu joba dele chi ngazu dele chingche ani dele chungsu dele cheso la joba del khalir sna claim. Humiliate la waina mabeb chiba an keswe chiba mi khashela an tongjun chiba miji yo waina an kola de mabeb ro che kola tongjun ro ta che waina ani humiliate che ani culminate ta chidani culminate la waina ani ngazu yangse do la orda yangse tse do je de ko du re tse de je khadu da ni ju ina ja ani lungkham gi de ki lungkham de ki tsemo de le khure ta rig zemo de da ngazu ya za che accepto chile sa chala dela khalire ani yangse dela and culminate ta thanda dela ngazu gi ni ju ko le na khande du chile words na ta bena ke mongu chi che ken chik che ni che sum che shi che ta nga de thama de ta tini ya ta chik dosa bindus ta chik ta tini ya dosa mejo chile ngazu culminate kisi pena ani 게임 monguji che kanzam chini ten digeni ani nizu chumbuji chung ani nizu dine ta drosa mejo charde waina kalwe culminate odusinda but the cultures the company they started engaging in the business. They started engaging in the business, and the company staffs they were doing their own side business, and that side business it was causing a lots of problems, loss for the revenue of the Bengal the revenue and during that time the Bengal had a very powerful Nawabs. Nawab chumbu Nawab top chumbu de shudri chumurda Nawab kashish chumurde tan azu tende Murshid Quli Khan. He was a very powerful, and after him Ali Wardi Khan, he followed the Murshid Quli Khan. Murshid Quli Khan the swig followed chidu Ali Wardi Khan. Ali Wardi Khan. And then Sirajudollah. They were the Nawabs of the Bengal during beginning of the British rule in Bengal. The Bengal ne da the chidu samanta sum the main Nawab ducha dore. They were totally against the British rules in Bengal. Bengal la thachu ga ba jagore. And after the death of the Aurangzeb dinge la so khasang elap sarwa. Aurangzeb, he was the last powerful Nawab, the powerful emperor of the Mughal. Mughal ke emperor mangu chungore, khojela khashi chungore, khojela mangu chungore. Chudu samani ine ya Aurangzeb, he was the last powerful emperor of the Mughal. The Mughal emperor last desu chadore shuk chumbu la horda, top chumbu keshe horda. Ani Aurangzeb chadorda. After the death of the Aurangzeb shidu samane kharchire the local rulers of the different parts of India. The local rulers of the different parts of India and the zamindars, the nawabs of the Mughal emperor ke nawab dike, they started declaring their own autonomy. They started declaring their own autonomy. They started making their own rules in the kingdom. Mughal gita kesi tha, and the Mughal the kesi now ne khashish mark hai, and thing we have the authority, we have the autonomy. Did like go to Bertha? Did like go to the Saman? Tadi Karsana, Orange of Shizane, and the Tagana didn't need to the Chumba. Elarta. Murshid Quli Khan was followed by Aliwardi Khan and then Sirajudollah as the Nawab of the Bengal. Each one of them was a strong ruler. Sunga Murshid Quli Khan, the swing followed Aliwardi Khan. Aliwardi Khan, the swing followed Sirajudollah. And they all were very powerful Nawabs. Nawab pe shukchum chadirda. And they refused to grant the company concession. The karta, the cannot mucha. They were once the follower of the Nawab of that Mughal emperor. Aurangzeb getsama chashirda. Aurangzeb, he died. Aurangzeb died. Aurangzeb Shizane Kharchirsana, they started declaring their own autonomy. Aurangzeb Shiroa. She did not Koranzo Gidiche Gozura, Nasir Anjo Taya Gozura, Nila Gozura. And same time, Farman the Kharchature, Zime Chadurda. Farman, that was granted by the Aurangzeb Khalare, the British traders, they shall have the privilege to do the trade in India on duty free. Duty free gala chong ja chugor la ro. Kazan duty free la na chete mogor ke shero. On the trade when Aurangzeb died, they started revoking the Farman the Meosur. The Farman the Meosur samani means the British, they will not have the concession. The concession pura ye durta. Ye do the samani denied the right to mint the coins. The company Maratha Shura, the company East India Company, they were even minting their own money. They were in India, the East India Company, they were in India doing the trade, and they were even making their own money. They go to the Nawab, these Nawab, they started making rules on the East India Company. East India Company and at the same time, the fortification should be removed. East India Company Gharchure, fortification. Magra de Jutsu Burwa. Song Jab, Pesha Sue. The Pesha print sheet la orda. The Chasa Meo Sue go to res. Fortification Chasan Sue Meo Sue res. Accusing the company of deceit. And the Nawab, they accused Lana Khala Orsana. Kunje Shiba. Accused the company of deceit. And and depriving the Bengal government of huge amounts of revenue. And Konjo Khalare, the East India Company gi Susu Peshatin, Susu Zonkarsu, and the Farman Gilo, Tigipura Mel, Tidi Chevana, and the company gi Bengal Shungla, Bengal and Angadi Bengal Nadi de la Orda, Bengola, Pemasi, Chongi Chumbutangudus, Bengal gi Gesila, Pemasi Chongi Chumbutangudus. It was refusing to pay taxes. The company, okay, we will not pay taxes. Texting mess, writing disrespectful letters. East India Company ki Nawab la khari yigi dugja dhrata harda, yigi kusher menge. 이게 누자들의 땅이다. 이게 누자들의 땅. 아니 his officials 안타 디 맘베치 아니 nawab기 레제디게 맘베치 고츠거레스. The company on its part declared that unjust demands of the local officials were ruining the trade of the company. 다 건조 East India Company 갈라 그래. East India Company라. East India Company. East India Company. East India Company 갈라 그래. The Nawabs of Bengal, they were ruining the trade of company. Ruining lana chola tangba. Chuse tangba. 아니 건조기 팀 딕수 싸와 디게기 company ki chongsha dige ganga chola tang dus. That was the accusation from the East India Company against the Nawab. Nawab la khalare konjogi di tim 딕수 싸와 dige ngajogi chongsha pura chola tang dus. Di ni samane di mares. Ruining the trade of the company and trade could flourish only if the duties were removed. Kazan tasem la shayo gir peche duty lana diksu kor shego marda. Duty means a taxes tail orda. If you are engaged in any trade and the custom they put certain taxes on you. The tax digela khalagre duty lagda. Custom gi kena chong ji jabaina 디 총디 나로다 캐나 파즈 조에다가 디게 총 파즈 오래다 디게 갈라 체지 코드 삼 디 체들 칼르 그래 듀티 लग다 하우사 다 가상 칼러스나 컴퍼니 칼러 워스나 company will engage in loss company 칼러래 나와블라 company will engage in loss if you put the duties on the trade company 칼러래 캐나지 기지 캐나기 company 기 총샤 갈라 체 잡아이나 아니 총샤 디 북두스 총샤 디 아니 we were not going to pay any duties. It was also convinced that to expand trade, it had to enlarge its settlements, buy up villages, and rebuild its forts. Convinced. Convinced Convinced means okay, sorry. Convince. 그러다 convince. convince는 갈라 그래. 파중올라 이직해 봤어요 봐. 이직해 봤으나 먼저 갈라 그래. To make somebody in confidence. 미셔바치가 이직해 봤어요들라. convince 나오다. 다 convince 다 된다 거기 갈라 그러시나. 인지 되게 길다. 인지 되게 빼닝 좀 몰라요. It was also convinced that to expand the trade, it had to enlarge its settlements. 다 인지 되게 갈라 그러시나. To expand its trade. 건조기 총도 얇게 당하다. To expand its trade, the company had to buy new settlements. 인디 코란조기 그 대사 시자 사와다 시자라다 미디기 데리가서 시자를 참만이 센주에다 짭주기 나와도 코르 되는 말다 시자라도 참만이 settlements도 참만이 아니 미 대사들을 나오다 코란조기 대사직 아니 사와서 구두스 expand its trade it had to enlarge its settlements 링원의 settlements 가들라로와 아니 정세 숨 녀버려라 찍찍 깔가르 녀라 다 룸베 딜치르 땅 두르다 아니 양자 갈라 buy up villages and rebuilds its fort 정세 싸워든데 양자 망어 딜레 망 오마 숨 녀라 다 양자 딜 망어 녀 구두스 아니 디갈 양자 아니 징라 싸워들이 쇠 구두스 징라 라주 참 갈라 그래 fort 싸워들이 쇠 구두스 means the company they tried to convince the nawabs that to expand its trade, to make their trade more flourishing, they have to expand its settlements, and to make it, and even to make a forts, and even to buy the villages. These things were convinced by that East India Company. East India Company that directly share goes over. The conflicts led to confrontations and finally culminated into the famous Battle of Plassey. Tadinda. Conflicts means East India Company and the Nawabs of the Bengal. These two, they were oftenly making some confrontation. Confrontation, 아니 찍네 찍라 동두체 노라라인 어디는 동두체 고도 버와 these confrontations the confrontation 뭔고 chung 버와 the confrontation 디게 가르쳐 버렸으나 아니 찍기 지금 가서 당기라서 culminate 라나 culminate let's see the rosa culminate let's see the rosa culminate 라나 게임 뭔고 사사사사 간담 치 atsemol래 노라라인 어디는 신기다 건조기 데리데리 제 고도 버와 안요갈래 버레스 노라 차버레스 다 언두스다 호사 아니 타마타마들라 마 춤부 쇼스자 디마드 민카레 the battle of place 딩에 상이 लग은다 당에 디가 칙하시 지수와 칙 디게라 아니 칙주스와 인지미지 칙주스 아니 가시기 칙주스에 날 파르겐 땅도 칙주스도 참은 예버도 수수 지대발 티 친구다 모바일 디레갈 지죠 말에 수수 지대발 티나 아니 익수다 당자다 뭔고지 개발도와 지대발 티 지대발 티서는 날 correction 땅와에 땅에 임바이나 I can't do it. Pardon the matanga. Pardon Tansuna and part the image draw and the edit chair doom do. And Suzuki teach mobile trapping capture Maltansua. Sick thinking a dela, sick to take the thinking a dela. Sick to Teswa. This sick to Gangala, and sick to Sua. Sick to Sue and Nala de Tutansua. And sick to the Karan the Kadus energy.